Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Promises Kept, the Bible study in which we're taking a look at 150 of God's promises over 5 months. And today we are on Promise Kept number 144. So we're rounding the corner, nearing the end. But we still have a handful to go, and today we're going to be looking at a promise in Hebrews. And our promise verse is going to be Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 5. Let me read it for you. Keep your life free from love of money and be content with what you have. For he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And that obviously is the promise that he has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And you should be saying to yourself, hopefully you're saying to yourself, for he has said, who is it talking about? For he has said. Who has said? Usually the answer would be Jesus. But in this case, yes, it's God, but that's referring, if you have a reference Bible, you can see that the he has said is referring back to the book of Joshua, where he has said something. So go to the book of Joshua, it's chapter 1, verse 5, and it says, no man shall be able to stand before you all the days of your life, just as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will not leave you or forsake you. So it's the exact wording that the Reference Bible is going back to. Of course, that promise is spoken to Joshua specifically. But here, the writer of Hebrews, we don't know who it is, maybe the Apostle Paul, who knows, is taking that Old Testament verse and translating it into a promise to you. So here's one of those times where you can say, okay, this was written to somebody specifically in the Old Testament, but it's also for me as well. God says here that he will never leave me or forsake me. And I can say it's just as much mine as it was Joshua's because it's now being reiterated in the New Testament and spoken to me, to a New Testament follower. So that's where we can do this kind of thing. Sometimes people take Old Testament verses and they use them for themselves, and it doesn't, there's no way that it ties into themselves. It's a promise to Israel, only for Israel. But this is one of those times where the promise was to an individual, Joshua, an Old Testament individual, but it's also specifically given to us because it's referred back to by the writer of Hebrews and applied for us. So I will never leave you or forsake you is the reason given, the promise given, why you should do the things that are stated before. Number one, keep your life free from the love of money. So a lot of times people will say, money is the root of all evil. And that, it's just a colloquialism. It's not a Bible thing. It's the love of money that becomes the problem, where you're idolizing your money, that everything you think about is how can I get my next buck and will I be provided for, causing anxiety in you to just be searching and scrapping and trying to get more funds for yourself, for your family. That is a love of money. That's an idolization of money. It's where your focus is on money instead of the provider of the money, which is God. You might think, oh no, I get my own money. God doesn't get me my money. But when you boil it down, when you drill down to the essence of it, God is keeping your heart going, and God is keeping you breathing, and God is keeping the sun shining. And so without God, you would not be able to make money in any which way. So it's God who's the provider of your money. So you should love God, the provider of the money, not the money. Just like any parent, a parent wants to be loved just because they want to be loved. They don't want to be loved for what they do for you, what they give to you. So love the provider. Love God, not what's being provided, not the money. That's the key. So it says, keep your life free from the love of money and be content with what you have. And that's a really important thing too. The two things are separate in my mind. You know, the discontent that people can have can also come from things that have nothing to do with money. So I separate them, but in this context, obviously, it's tying it together, saying be content with what you have. Don't strive for more money. Don't strive for more wealth. Be content with what you have, what you've been given, what you need. But for me, I always think that be content with what you have. It further extends past money. Just be content with where you're living, the family that you're in, the job you have, all the things that cause contentment that have nothing to do with money. The instruction is there too. Be content with what you have. It gives you a peacefulness. Don't be in love with money. It gives you a peacefulness. And the reason why is because God says, I'll never leave you or forsake you. If the one who is the provider of your money and the provider of your contentment, all the other things that keep you content, if he's with you and he'll never forsake you, which is the promise, then you have no reason for anxiety. You have no reason to want more, to be ungrateful, to be pessimistic, to be downcast. The promise of God being with you, never leaving you and never forsaking you, should give you a tremendous amount of confidence and peace going forward. That's why those words were spoken to Joshua back in the Old Testament. God had given him the task to take the Israelites into the promised land, right? Moses was not going to be able to do it. God wouldn't let him. So Joshua was the next one. And God is saying to him, just go forward. Don't worry. I will never leave you. I'll never forsake you. And it's the same thing he's saying to you. Go forward. Don't worry about your money, how you're going to get it. Don't be discontent with what you already have. Just keep moving forward. I'm going to be with you. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. It's all going to be fine. And with that promise, hopefully peace will wash over you, because having the provider of things with you is much more important than having the things. You're going to the source of everything you want, everything you need, everything you want to ask for. You have him with you. It doesn't mean you're going to get everything you want, but you have the one who has the ability to give it to you. So hopefully you're embracing the promise that he will never leave you or forsake you is a huge, huge promise of God. And it should just quiet you and keep your eyes focused on him. Okay? I'll see you next time. Bye.